What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Lee, and welcome back to another movie review. And the movie I'm going to be reviewing right now is a part of my 2018 movie catch-up, or movies I missed in theaters, press screenings, what have you. I'm catching up to make sure that my top 10 list is solid, or I might have to change it. I'm just catching up on all the ones that have been receiving high critical praise and a lot of love within the film community. So I'm here to review The Favorite. Now, this one comes from Fox Searchlight Pictures, and this one's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who is the same director that brought us The Lobster back in 2015, I believe, and The Killing of a Sacred Deer last year in 2017. This is way different than those two movies, but still has the same type of flavor that you would expect from a Yorgos Lanthimos film. But this one stars Olivia Colman as Queen Anne of the 18th century England. And she's getting a little older. She's getting a little frail. She's getting hurt a lot more. And, of course, back in the day, in her case, she had, special treatment. But a lot of people could not cure most diseases, or even just something as simple as a leg break. It takes forever to heal. So, she's getting hurt a lot more, and she is not able to do her job. Then you have Rachel Weisz's character. She's kind of like her right-hand woman. She kind of governs the country for Queen Anne, and Queen Anne is essentially the face to the people, while, behind the scenes, Rachel Weisz is kind of doing it herself. And then comes Emma Stone's character, where we don't really know much about her, but she comes there to help as a helping hand, and she starts to infiltrate into the Queen and even Rachel Weisz's daily activities and routines, and the Queen may or may not like her more, and it feels a little threatening to Rachel Weisz. She wants to get her out of there, and a lot of things go on. So it's basically a three-way feud triangle between these three women, and set in this time period and in this environment. It's quite a movie to behold. Now, with Yorgos Lanthimos, he is a very divisive filmmaker, I would say, very niche. I would say even to the point where a lot of people would probably, a normal movie-going person, would watch his movies and be like, not for me. The Favorite actually is the first time that actually bridges into, I would even say, a crowd-pleasing type of movie in a weird way, as perverse and hardcore that it is. It's I would say this is the first time where he can have his flavor in the movie, but also appeal to a wider audience. So, when you see the trailer to this film and you know who's directing it and you know who's in it, how can you not get excited for this movie? So I saw the movie, and I absolutely love it. So this is one of those movies to where I saw a few days ago, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about certain scenes, certain performances, certain musical cues, the cinematography, the set design, the costumes, everything about this movie I think about on a daily basis. This is a wonderful representation of a cauldron pot of filmmaking, just in this kind of group where you feel like nothing would work. The performances, the unique cinematography, the piercing score, the set design, everything about this movie should not work, but it does, because Yorgos understands that period pieces, they need a little life to them. They need a little kind of in-your-face mentality. And so I think when Yorgos takes this kind of perverse, highly sexualized kind of take on 18th century, where this stuff actually happened, it actually grounds it a little bit more. Even though it's kind of disturbing to watch sometimes, it's one of those things to where I think he just wanted to show the kind of ugly side of this kind of time period and really inject it with some piercing kind of dark humor sprinkled throughout. This is actually a really funny movie. Many times I feel bad, but especially for what I was laughing at, but a lot of great moments in here that will just kind of make you laugh and have your side split because of the way it's edited and the way it's performed. It is comedically timed to the most finest precision. So it is a very funny film, but it's also a very tragic film. I think what Yorgos does is he does inject a lot of pathos into this movie, a lot of under the surface type of pathos, where it's not really something that's kind of out there in your face. It's more kind of subtle type of sadness to these characters, and that also makes us kind of like some of them a little bit more, because this movie is very abrasive in the very beginning. So you're like, how am I supposed to follow any of these people? It seems like everyone's a jerk in this movie. But as the movie goes on, you realize who is the awful person and who is actually the good person. And you're like, wow, what a great transformation. So it's great character work where we have these characters that are funny from the way they act, but also understanding because we know where these people are coming from and really, kind of apply real life situations and emotions that we can all kind of relate to. And also what I really like about the story and the script is the way Yorgos really highlights oppression with women in this time period, where if you are not someone in power, then you will probably be, in a kind of like a position where you just don't want to be in, and you don't have that many opportunities and advances because you are a woman. Now, that's what's so great about this movie is that we focus on a queen who is in high power, and everyone, kind of sucks up to her, and, she has the upper hand. And it was kind of empowering in some scenes to kind of see her do her thing. But also, it's a great example of when a person can go after power and they can become obsessed with it, and it makes them into an awful person. So those themes also apply. So like I said, this is one of those things where it kind of ping-pongs all over the place in terms of tone and thematic substance. But this is a balancing act, folks. And I think Yorgos does that quite well. It just kind of balances and teeters across all these like kind of tones and subplots. But it never goes too far, never, not too much. It's right there. And I think it's a perfect way to kind of tell this script. So, to kind of ping off the characters, the performances are outstanding. They are out of bounds type of performances where you go, wow, I didn't realize Emma Stone had these capabilities. I have never really seen Olivia Colman until now. She has these capabilities. Rachel Weisz is always great. And even Nicholas Hoult has a pretty fun little role that when he comes on screen, you're like, okay, he's going to be like the goofy kind of brat, if you will, the rich brat. And he was having fun in the role. But it's mainly about these three women. And they're fierce performances. They're very striking performances. They are the type of performances that attack you, assault you on screen, but you kind of just relish in it because these actresses are acting in the moment. This is like the in the moment type of stuff that you wish you could capture as a filmmaker. And directing these three women to get what Yorgos got out of them is kind of astounding. There are several moments where, Olivia Colman, who plays the queen, where she is kind of a B. She is very abrasive, very, just kind of disregarding most of the people that she works with, except for Rachel Weisz. And then there are moments where she breaks down, and you're like, okay, I get this. She is lonely, and she is looking for, a friend, a companion, and there's a lot of sadness within her. You have Emma Stone, who comes on board, who's very friendly, very polite, and then maybe she starts to go down a path that actually makes her maybe terrifying. It's a complete switch that I don't think any actress could pull off, but she pulls off. And then Rachel Weisz is one of those actresses to where in the beginning of the film she's very, very confident, a very powerful woman, and then she kind of loses her footing a little bit, and then she slowly starts to come back, and you're like, this is what it's all about, is convincing me that these characters exist, that these situations exist, and these three women knock it out of the park. The cinematography. This visual language that Yorgos loves to do in his movies is always fresh. It's always unique. There's always something new that he loves to try. A lot of wide-angle lenses, a lot of fish-eye lenses in this movie to really kind of show show the disorientation and the loneliness of these characters, and show them in these kind of vast places with a lot of pans, a lot of whips. It's the type of visual language that keeps it exciting, and it keeps the momentum going. There's a certain type of energy about the cinematography. And there's one shot in particular with Emma Stone in a bed that definitely one of my favorite shots because it's kind of haunting and it's really terrifying. It's just, that's the type of filmmaking that he loves to do. It's just, stamp his style on it, and it does affect you in some way, shape, or form. And then the last thing I want to discuss is the score. The score is outstanding. Once again, just like with The Killing of a Sacred Deer, Yorgos understands mood and atmosphere, and every single musical accompaniment in this movie elevates each scene into playful, into happy, into sad, into frightening, into confusing, into all these different types of emotions. And so every single piece of music is different from the other, but it all comes together because in every single scene, it just elevates what we are watching, and it really just makes the emotions, kind of strike you even more. The score is just one of those things that I know people are talking about the performances and the cinematography, but man, that music is really, really good. So listen, I don't have any issues with this movie. I always will tell you guys, if there's something about a movie that disrupts it, makes it something it's not, or just really stands out, I will pinpoint it. This movie doesn't have any that I can think of right now. I will not give it that plus and give it that upper echelon type of grade, but I think as high as I will go until I watch it again and maybe give it that plus, I'm going to give The Favorite a solid A. A wonderful, exciting, and kind of mysterious little film to when you watch it, you think you know what's going to go on, but then it kind of goes through these twists and turns, and you're like, I kind of like this wild roller coaster ride I'm going on. So, what did you guys think of The Favorite? Have you even heard of it? Comment that places right below my face and let me know. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.